Khamzat Chimaev has become one of MMA's biggest stars in recent years. His dominant victories in the UFC have led many to suggest that at some point in the near future, Chimaev will become a world champion. While the Chechan hasn't fought since last September, we can almost say for sure that going forward, Khamzat will be moving up to middleweight. There's no shortage of potential opponents in this weight bracket, but one that has gained the attention of fans is the potential matchup against the Killa Gorilla, Jarod Cannonier. Join us in this video as we break down a potential future matchup between Khamzat Chimaev and Jarod Cannonier. Don't forget to stick around to the end to get our official prediction on just who walks away with the victory if these two face off inside the UFC's octagon. Rumours of a potential fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Jarod Cannonier first began making rounds on the internet in late June. After Dana White announced he would like to see the Chechen-born MMA superstar move up to middleweight division, fans and personnel alike couldn't help but speculate on who would welcome Khamzat to the division. Chael Sonnen and Cannonier spoke of the potential fight against Cannonier on several occasions and were adamant it would come to fruition. While the fight is yet to be announced, if Khamzat is looking to climb the rankings of the middleweight division, who better to get matched up against than the current number 4, Cannonier? The Killa Gorilla has spoken on the topic at hand in several interviews over the last few months, stating that if the fight is seen as a number 1 contenders match, that he would have no problem entertaining Chimaev. Only time will tell if we'll get to see these two powerhouses face off inside the UFC's octagon. But one thing's for sure, it would be a fight that fans around the world would love to see. But before we decide who would win if Cannonier and Chimaev got matched up, let's find out more about each fighter. Jarod Cannonier first debuted for UFC back in 2015 when he met Sean Jordan at UFC 182. Unfortunately, he lost by way of TKO and would go on to go 3 for 3 in his next 6 fights. On the verge of getting cut from the promotion, Cannonier would have to show his worth in his next few fights. And that he did. After dropping down to middleweight, the Killa Gorilla went on a 3-fight win streak, earning impressive finishes over Anderson Silva and Jack Hermansson. He suffered a minor setback against Robert Whittaker, losing to the Aussie by way of a unanimous decision at UFC 254. But again, he bounced back, earning victories over Kelvin Gastelum and Derek Brunson. Wins that earn him a shot at Israel Adesanya's title. The fight with Izzy went down at UFC 276, and while Cannonier had his moments in the fight, he just wasn't aggressive enough. Adesanya simply outstruck him for 5 rounds and earned a unanimous decision victory in the end. After losing to Izzy, Cannonier returned to the drawing board and made minor improvements. When he returned, he saw significant improvements in his game, and the Killa Gorilla went on to earn respectable wins over Sean Strickland and Marvin Vettori. With these 2 victories, he secured the number 4 spot in the middleweight ranking. Going forward, a fight against someone as popular as Khamzat Chimaev may be enough to earn him another shot at the middleweight gold. Regarding Cannonier's potential opponent, the Chechen Wolf needs little to no introduction. After becoming one of the most talked about fighters over the past few years, fans were sure Khamzat would be fighting for the welterweight title by the end of 2023. He has been on a 6-fight win streak since joining the UFC back in 2020, and every fight has had fans on the edge of their seat. From dominating Li Jinliang at UFC 267 to the fight of the year contender with Gilbert Burns at UFC 273. It's safe to say Khamzat has earned the right to claim he will smash anyone the UFC places before him. Unfortunately, one thing has gone wrong for Khamzat: his inability to cut weight. The Chechen was scheduled to face Nate Diaz at UFC 279 in September of last year. Yet due to coming in overweight, he was matched up with Kevin Holland at the last minute. This likely greatly angered Dana and the promotion, considering it had just ruined the main event of UFC 279. After this, the UFC basically told Khamzat he would be moving up to middleweight. Unfortunately for the Swedish-based fighter, this means he'll have to begin climbing the ranks all over again. So the best way to get a head start would be to take a fight against a top-ranked middleweight contender, such as current number 4, Jarod Cannonier. Now that we have the backstories of both men, let's break down the strengths and weaknesses of both fighters, starting with Cannonier. Strength number 1. The Killa Gorilla has serious power in his hands and knows when to throw a perfectly timed punch that could finish anyone in the division. Over the years, we've seen him earn 10 knockout finishes. His simple yet effective form of striking allows him to test opponents and slowly break them down with jabs and low kick combinations. On top of this, at any moment in the pocket, one of his trademark jab overhands could end an opponent's night there and then. On top of this, his ability to switch from orthodox to southpaw just before firing off makes him a nightmare to deal with on the feet. Strength number 2. Strength and size. While the former heavyweight only comes in at 6 feet, he is packed full of dense muscle and can weigh in as much as 230 when he's not in a training camp. With the work he's been doing on his takedown defense in recent years, getting the Killa Gorilla to the ground could turn out to be more challenging than Khamzat may expect. If Cannonier can keep the fight dirty and fire off with his weapons in a clinch, he could seriously damage to the Chechan and hold him off. With that being said, Cannonier does have one glaring weakness. Let's discuss it. Weakness. Low-level wrestling. Unfortunately, Cannonier has never been much of an elite wrestler. If Khamzat gets his opponent to the ground, it could be over in a matter of moments. When fully pinned on his back, Cannonier has little defense and shows no real signs of any kind of offensive jiu-jitsu. So we have to assume he'll try to keep things on the feet as much as possible. Now that we've discussed Cannonier's strengths and weaknesses, let's discuss Chimaev's. Strength number 1, wrestling. Concerning Khamzat's strength, the first and most apparent is his intense grappling pressure. The Chechan is not afraid to shoot and latch onto his opponents from any angle. He has the strength to take down fighters well above his own size. Chimaev will pursue any weakness in an opponent, and for someone with as little grappling experience as Cannonier, it makes sense that he would try and capitalise on this. We could see Khamzat explode towards his opponent in a style similar to his last fight against Holland and score a takedown within seconds of the first round. Chimaev's submission arsenal may prove to be fatal for the Killa Gorilla and could play a decisive role in the fight's outcome. Strength number 2, motivation. Chimaev's confidence have given him resilience and a determination to win unlike any other in the UFC. We have seen this in all of his previous fights. No matter who the UFC matches him up against, he comes out with the heart of a lion. If he had to stand and bang just like the fight with Gilbert Burns, Chimaev has no problem with this. We've seen him finish nearly as many opponents with the power in his hands as we have with his expertise in submissions. Khamzat is simply a straight killer inside the octagon and poses a threat to even the largest opponents in the middleweight division. With that being said, let's discuss a potential weakness of Khamzat. Weakness. A lack of judgment. A weakness that may become apparent in a fight against Cannonier stems from one of his strengths. Khamzat is not shy and will openly engage his opponents in the center of the octagon. But exchanging hands with someone like Cannonier, who has explosive power, may turn out to be a recipe for disaster. At any moment, one jab followed up by an overhand could be enough to send Khamzat crumbling to the canvas in a fashion we've rarely seen. So now that we've broken down both fighters' strengths and weaknesses, it's time for our official prediction. But before we do, we hold a monthly shout out on our channel, and all you need to do to enter is comment "I subbed" in the comments section below. So make sure to comment and you'll be in with a chance of winning. If Khamzat and Cannonier meet inside the UFC's octagon sometime in the near future, we believe that the Chechen Wolf will come out on top. While there's no doubt it would be an exciting matchup, Cannonier's subpar grappling skills will likely bleed through, and Khamzat won't have much of a problem getting him down. Our official prediction is Chimaev finishes Cannonier with a Das or rear naked choke in round 3. In the first few rounds, Khamzat may struggle to control a man of Cannonier's size and strength, but as he slowly reduces the gas tank of the Killa Gorilla, this will allow him to control his opponent on the ground and begin working on the devastating chokes he is well known for.